clap. You want to do it? Do the honors. Nice. Perfect. Good evening, Tim.
Good evening.
We are here in Eindhoven, live,
Yes,
on a Wednesday evening.
as usual.
One of the more memorable Wednesday evenings with regards to this project and journey that we've been on.
For sure. The premiere of our
This is the premiere,
the new channel.
The new
that's gonna
channel.
come out.
Unfamiliar Randomness, and it's quite a interesting story and a journey that we've been
It's a
on.
journey.
Maybe you can
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about the idea behind this project, and then I can
Yep.
fill in some of the details leading us up to this special evening.
Yeah, where should I start? I think basically what happens whenever you and me get together, we just start talking about the deepest topics. I don't know, like what is life, what it means to be a human being,
Yes.
psychology, philosophy, religion,
Yeah.
society. And
Yeah.
then we said, we should really record this. We should record our conversations.
Yes. Yes.
And I think that was basically the start of this idea, right?
Indeed. And one of the motivating factors for me was your channel, your very successful
Thank
YouTube
you.
channel that
Well-
you've got. And that's also an inspiration for the name of this YouTube channel. So your channel is Familiar Patterns, and you started it how long ago now?
1.5 years ago. Yeah. I'm
Okay.
ashamed to say.
No, it's an amazing channel. And I realized that when we would have these discussions, we wanted a platform to be able to upload it. And since you were already doing it on YouTube, it makes that barrier of entry, or how scary it seems,
Yeah.
a lot less scary.
Yeah.
And we actually started recording back in the summer
Yeah.
of 2024,
Outside here in the garden.
outside in this
Yeah.
garden behind us. And what happened? Why did we not upload those?
What happened? I think the audio was not great.
Yes.
And we were planning to use certain software that didn't go well with the audio.
So we ran into some difficulties. I think with any project or journey that you want to go on, there's always hurdles, there's always roadblocks.
Yeah.
But I'm proud to say that we persevered, and
We
we
did
are
it.
here, 6 months later, 8 months later.
Yeah. If you see this, it means that we did it.
Yes, exactly. The past few weeks, we've been sitting on Wednesday nights here, setting up everything, trialing out the recording software, the microphones. Big thank you to Mr. Caesware for bringing the equipment through 2 weekends ago. So now we have this lovely lighting equipment. We've got the microphone stands.
Yeah, it's really
Big
good.
shout out to your old team at ASML for helping get the voucher that purchased these microphones.
Yes.
And I'm very excited for this first episode.
Yeah, me too. I think we gathered all our tools bit by bit together, and now we have like a pretty semi-professional setup, I would say.
Yes.
Yeah, let's see where we can take it from here. I mean, like, we got the editing software, we got the equipment, we know more or less what we want to talk about. I think we're set.
It's only up from here.
Yeah.
And it's a nice bridge into the topic of content. I know we mentioned that we recorded some episodes at the end of, in summer last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the first episode that we recorded was actually, both of them were very interesting. The first one, I think, was 15 or 20 minutes. And then the second one we went on, I think, for half an hour or 40 minutes. And who knows, maybe we'll be able to actually edit some of that footage and get it up on our channel at some stage. But I know, at least for me, one of the triggers for a lot of our deep conversations was the idea of human beings being so complex.
Yes.
And the idea of understanding oneself. And ultimately, for me, one of the driving factors in a lot of our conversations and the desire to talk about it more on a podcast type format was this question of what does it mean to be a human being? But more specifically, if I were to put it into one question, how does one be
Yes.
in this world?
Yeah.
And it seems like such a simple question,
Yeah.
but it is not a
It's
simple
definitely
question.
not. Well, I was also thinking about that a lot. Maybe it is very simple.
Maybe.
Maybe like we're doing it already. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think it is complex because it there's always the question of, is there a meaning? Like, it implies a kind of meaning or a direction or a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
That's up for debate, of
Yes.
course.
Yes.
But I think that was also something that, yeah, we talked a lot about, like from different points of view. How can you view this issue actually? So
I
from a
mean, we
religious
started
point of
off,
view,
and also just from a
biological.
point
Yeah.
of view. And when we started the discussions in summer last year, something that I hadn't realized, which I've realized since, is that there seems to be these two states where one can be and one can do. And the act of doing seems to be somewhat different from the act of being. And it seems that a lot of us, especially in this modern world, we volley between these two states. And I think we spend a lot more time in the doing state than we do in the being state. And we look at social media trying to grab our attention, or we look at just how busy our lives are, right? We do. We look at you and me today. We've just been doing the whole day.
We've been doing a lot.
Yeah. And
which state do you prefer, being or doing?
I think doing. I think most people default into doing because it can distract you from how scary being can truly be. I think when you start to be, you're forced to see your true self, to unpack some things within you that may be scary or may be uncomfortable to approach. And so we can keep ourselves busy and avoid that introspection by doing, which I think is a natural part of being human, but it comes in balance. At least that's one of the things that I've thought about.
Interesting, yeah. I think that if you are really being, like, and I think of being in a sense of like truly being in harmony with the universe, let's call it that, then if you are really being, then you shouldn't really be afraid of, like, it's not, then you are past that stage, like you said, like you might be afraid of thinking about certain things. Thinking about certain things might also be still doing, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like if you're really being, it's really a meditative state.
That's true. I think we're so caught up in the act of doing that even me thinking about being still involves doing. And that idea of meditation and just letting oneself be is extremely difficult. It's that idea of thinking about nothing. Yeah. Well, if you're trying to think about nothing, you're still doing, but ideally you want to be in that state of and so these sorts of topics, these sorts of concepts we want to unpack on this awesome podcast that we got going.
More and deeper.
Yeah, maybe you can tell us a little bit about some of the things that you've discussed on your YouTube channel, things that you've learned, things that you want to bring to this channel, and discussions on certain topics.
Mike, I'm very unprepared for this.
That's all right. That's all right.
No, but so my channel, I've been mainly talking about personal development in the broad sense. So from how your biology works, like what sleep does for you. So I tried certain things where I tried to sleep a lot and then see how I was performing during the day, how it helped my workouts, my concentration. But I also did like sleep deprivation. So I tried to compare those two and see where is actually the middle ground there where you want to be, and in which situations does it have its purpose. Like one clear example, for instance, is you can actually function pretty well with low amounts of sleep, but not more than one night of bad sleep. So if you need to perform the next day and you need to get something done, you can do it. But you can't do it for a week, then you're going to be fucked. So these kind of things I've been trying to investigate, but at the same time also going more into psychological, spiritual topics. I'm really into Jungian thinking and archetypes. The shadow. The shadow work. I've been trying out different things, and I think I also tapped into some knowledge from really good books. So I think like I'm trying to implement the things that I read about, at least on my channel, and I hope it can be of value to our conversations as well.
And implement them in your daily life, of course.
Hopefully. Like for instance, one thing that I really, really like is the concept of, I don't know if I can fully go into it now, but like there are 4 fundamental human needs. They're like the physical, the social, the spiritual, and the mental. And in order to feel fully fulfilled in life, you need to kind of check all of those boxes. But then the concept of well, it is in a book. Like the concept of the book is actually not running from box to box,
Yes.
but creating your life in such a way that they all overlap in the activities that you do,
Yes.
so that you create this huge synergy where you just like start to burn inside from excitement.
Everything starts to align.
Yeah, it starts to align, and
I like that.
yeah, and that's something we've been doing actually quite a lot. So like
Yes.
working out and being social,
Yeah.
like all these things together. That's
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I look forward to unpacking these topics further on this podcast. You mentioned working out and maybe giving the listeners or the watchers a bit of a background on us. We both like to work out. We're both active. So we definitely, I'm sure we'll touch on some health things that we found as you were talking about sleep. I recently got one of these Whoop bands. Also, shout out to Cizwe for his discount code that got me hooked on this. But seeing how different daily habits affect our sleep, our stress levels.
Yep. And
how
also
that,
these gadgets and tools. Maybe I want to ask you certain things about the Whoop as well.
Yeah,
So
and how that affects our mental states,
Yeah.
and how much our mental states affects our physiology back in that feedback loop. So I think, yeah, we're also the type of people who watch a lot of these self-development podcasts. At least I can speak for myself. I have learned a lot from people like Jordan Peterson, Andrew Huberman, more on the biology side. But one of the podcasts, and maybe I'll link it in this one when we upload it, that really opened my eyes to the world of psychology and my newfound interest in psychology was Dr. Andrew Huberman's first series with Dr. Paul Conti.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah, I shared with you a while back, actually, when I was still staying in my old place. And for me, that was extremely eye-opening, extremely interesting. I watch a lot of Diary of the CEO. And he's also done some really good podcasts with Mo Gaudat, I think his name is. So he's also a guy who has a very interesting background. He was the ex-head of Google Special Projects before he became the founder of this happiness journey.
Wow.
So in general, just being interested in psychology, the brain, our life, our experience through life, the journey, and trying to improve, trying to help each other, people around us, and just learn along the way.
Inspiring, man. I even want to watch this myself.
Yeah, I mean, we can definitely link a lot of the resources and stuff here.
Yes.
And I know that also we will read more books. We'll find some interesting topics. We'll jot them down. We'll create some nice structure throughout our future episodes that allows our viewers to maybe go and find specific topics that are interesting to them.
Yeah.
And we can have a lot of fun along the way as
Hopefully,
well. Plenty of laughs. And
I hope we can get some viewer engagement going as well.
Yes.
So please drop your questions, comments, whatever in the chat.
For sure.
Like the video if you like the video.
Yeah. We'll definitely set up an Instagram page.
Yes.
So we can also interact with people there. I know it's often easier for people to just reply to a story or comment on a reel or something like that. I think engagement is going to be very interesting. Of course, I think one of the main motivations for us doing this is for us to learn from each other and discuss topics that we want to discuss, but also having viewer engagement and understanding if there's an overlap between the things that we want to discuss and some of the things that the viewers are interested in. Then once again, bring these things into alignment.
For sure.
Let's discuss, let's unpack, let's all learn together. If there's book recommendations, podcast recommendations, I'm always up to watching and learning interesting things.
I think we got some pretty good topics.
Yeah.
I'm excited to start.
Yeah. Indeed. Well, I think for this first introductory, we should leave it there, short and sweet. We've given the viewers a nice teaser of what's to come. We've finally set up our equipment. Of course, things will improve from here. But I'm excited to do this journey with you, Tim.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
We're going to learn a lot. And to all our first-time viewers, stay tuned for more.
And thanks for watching.
There we go. Great. Nice stuff. I think that's the first one done.